Hi children, good morning to all. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. So happy to come back with a new session. So in the previous session we discussed about control and coordination, function of the brain and chemical coordination, both plants and the animals. So the new concept that which we are going to learn is how do organisms reproduce. So that is nothing but reproduction in organisms. Let us see what is meant by reproduction. Reproduction is nothing but the ability of giving birth to the young ones which resemble their parental characters and to continue their generation. So the capacity of giving birth and the resemblance of the parental characters and the continuation of the generation, perpetuation of the life. So all these concepts involves in the process of reproduction. Let us see what is meant by reproduction. Reproduction is a process in which organisms produce young ones which are in a similar to itself. So offsprings are nothing but children. Okay. So the period of from birth to the natural death of an organism is called as a lifespan. So from the birth to the death, the middle lifetime is called nothing but lifespan. No individual is immortal because the organisms which have birth they have the death except unicellular organisms because they show asexual reproduction. They split into two. The living organism break into two individuals, again it forms into a new one. So mostly we can see in a immortal unicellular organisms. This is no natural death in including there is no natural death in unicellular organisms. Based on the number of participants, the process of reproduction is divided into two types. As I said that the lifespan of some organisms. Let us see the lifespan of some organisms. So, if you take the plants, rose can live the lifespan 5 to 7 years, rice plant 3 to 7 months, banyan tree 400 plus years, banana tree 2 to 3 years, dog 22 years, butterfly 1 to 2 weeks, fruit fly 2 weeks, and parrot 140 years, and crocodile 60 years, horse 40 to 50 years, tortoise 100 to 150 years, crow 15 years, cow 22 years, elephant 50 to 70. These are the some organisms lifespan. So how many years they used to live. As I said that the reproduction is of two types, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Let us see what is meant by asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, it is a production of offsprings by single parent. It's seen in a unicellular organisms and simple plants and simple animals. The offsprings are identical to one another and to their parents. Such morphological and genetically similar individuals are called clones. So mostly the each and every organism is unique. So no one organism is as stamp. So they have the similarities from the parents, but they are not exact copies of the parents. Some differences we used to find that are called as variations. So how the variations are formed? Due to the recombination of DNA of two parents. So when the two parents fused the gametes, sperm and the ovum, during that recombination of DNA takes place. Due to the recombination of DNA, the process of recombination of DNA is a chemical reaction. So no chemical reaction is a same. Every chemical reaction is different from one reaction to another. So recombination of DNA is a chemical reaction. So somewhat we used to find a small changes. So these small changes are nothing but are called as the variations. So when these variations are more in number, it leads to form the speciation. Okay, so we can find some difference due to the recombination of the parental DNA. So if you see here types of asexual reproduction, we can see fission, budding, here not is not given, regeneration, fragmentation, spore formation, and also vegetative propagation. Again, the fission can be seen two types, that is binary fission and multiple fission. So let us see the reproduction, why it is important. It is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones similar to itself. So, or we can define it, it is a process by which living organisms produce its own kind. So, it is an important characteristic of living organisms to perpetuate their life. Let us see the advantage. Enable the continuity of the species generation after the generation. So due to this process of reproduction, we can find a continuation of the generation or a perpetuation of the life. So organisms reproduce by two modes, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Coming over to the types of asexual reproduction, binary fission, multiple fission, budding. So binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction which parent organisms divided into two daughter cells. We can find it mostly in amoeba and paramecium. And multiple fission, it is a type of asexual reproduction in which division of nucleus takes place simultaneously or successively into number of daughter nuclei. So the nucleus divides into many in number, followed by division of cell body into a equal number of parts, each containing nucleus. Best example, plasmodium. Budding is a type of asexual reproduction in which an organism divides into a larger and smaller part. So the smaller part bud eventually gets separated and converted into a new organism. Example, Hydra. So let us see what is meant by fission. So fission, it is the parent cell divides, that means the cell divides, cell division into two or more individuals. So mostly we find as in Protista and Monerans. So this fission is of two types, that is a binary fission and a multiple fission. In the picture you can find was one single cell break into two cells in paramecium in amoeba. And plasmodium you can see multiple fission. The nucleus divides into many cells and grows into new individual. Binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction in which the fully grown parent cell split it into two halves producing two new daughter cells. That is called as binary fission. So now let us see how the fission takes place. Here you can find in the picture. In fission, a fully grown parent divides into two or more daughters. So it is simplest method of asexual reproduction in a unicellular organism such as amoeba, paramecium and other protozoans. So here you can see the mother prokaryotic chromosome. In the center of the cell you can find the chromosome. Now the chromosome in the second level it is splitting from the top to bottom. You can observe the picture. The chromosome breaking or splitting into parts. Later see equal halves were shared at the center of the nucleus and then accumulation of the cytoplasm. Equal sharing of cytoplasm is taking place. Along with this, all the cell organelle cells also will be shared. So at last they will separated into two individuals and they grow into two individuals. So from one amoeba, here we can find the development of two amoeba cells, two organisms. So the binary fission is the division of the cell into two similar or identical cells during favorable conditions. In this method, the nucleus first divides automatically into two, followed by the division of the cytoplasm. So the cytoplasm finally split into two daughter cells and they grows into two daughter cells. Coming into the multiple fission. Multiple fission is a parental fission. Multi means many. So parent body divides into many daughter cells simultaneously during the unfavorable conditions. The nucleus of the cell divides repeatedly, producing many nuclei. So each nucleus is surrounded by a small amount of cytoplasm and many daughter cells. So later the many daughter cells will be produced with the cyst. Cyst means nothing but the cover. In the picture you can find the part that is called as a cyst. So the cyst breaks up under favorable conditions and small offsprings are liberated. See, the small offsprings are coming out of the cyst, you can find there. Example of multifission is that of malarial parasite. Malarial parasite is nothing but Plasmodium. We can find in the saliva of the mosquito. So when the mosquito bites, it causes the malaria. So as we said that the don't cause by the mosquito bite. As mosquito bites, in the saliva of the mosquito we find this Plasmodium parasite. What is meant by parasite? Which live in the host and cause a harm to the host is called as a parasite. So when this mosquito injects in the body, they release the saliva into the blood. So causes the malaria. That's why it is called as a malarial parasite. Next type of asexual reproduction is budding. In budding, one or more unicellular or multicellular outgrowths called buds. So the outgrowths, you can see in the picture, blue color picture, different types of buds are there. We can find their buds. Okay, so in budding, one or more unicellular or multicellular outgrowths called buds are formed on or inside the parasite body. So Hydra produced by budding using the regenerative cell division at one specific site. So how they generate the new bud again? Due to the capacity of regeneration. Re means again, generation means creation. Okay, so due to the regeneration capacity, again they show the regeneration. So the outgrowths of the body are called as buds. They will detaches from the parent. So when fully mature, the bud detaches from the parent body and develops into a new independent individuals. So the buds will grow into a new individual. They will separated from the mother. Then the parent bud again regenerate the lost in bud. Again it able to regenerate. So in Hydra we can see two types of asexual reproductions, that are regeneration and budding. Okay, the next one is fragmentation. Fragments means splitted parts from the mother. Many splits from the mother. Fragmentation is a form of asexual reproduction where a new organism grows from the fragments of the parent. So this new organism grows from the parent. You can see here. Many organisms such as lichens, certain fungi and plants produce asexually through the process of fragmentation. So if you see there the bottom diagram, it is example of the Spirogyra. So you can see it is splitting into many parts. Every splitted part again grows into a new Spirogyra. So this process is called as a fragmentation. So this process of fragmentation cannot be seen in the complex organisms. I will tell about regeneration and fragmentation. So the process of getting back, another type of asexual reproduction is regeneration. The process of getting back of a full organism from its body part is called regeneration. You can see here the planaria. The planaria breaks into three parts. So head part, middle part and tail part. So again the head part develops the middle part and tail part. The middle part develops into head part and tail part, and the tail part can develops into a middle part and head part. So it is ability of fully differentiated organism to give rise to new individual organisms from its body parts. Small cut or a broken part of the organism body grow or regenerate into a separate individuals. So each and every part again develops into a separate individual. So here you can see the process of getting back a full organism. So here at the back of starfish you can see the another starfish formation. In the starfish, if any arm is broken, it able to regenerate the arm. So here simple organisms like Hydra, Planaria can be cut into a number of pieces and each piece grows into a complete organism. So in regeneration, the lost end part will be recreated or regenerated and developed. So the process of regeneration and process of fragmentation we cannot see in the complex organisms. Why? Because the complex organisms are derived or developed according to the schematic representation of group of cells form into a tissue. A group of tissues forms into an organ. A group of organs form into an organ system, and group of organ systems form an organism. If this fragmentation and regeneration has to be taken in complex organisms, in all the way of development of organism, these processes has to be taken. So it is a complex process. That's why it cannot be seen in the complex organisms. And coming about the regeneration, regeneration cannot be said as a reproduction. Why we cannot say it as a reproduction? Because in the process of reproduction, formation of new organisms we used to see. But here, the lost and part only regenerating. New organism is not regeneration, not regenerating or not coming, not producing. Okay. So as the new organism is not producing, this process of regeneration cannot be calculated as the process of reproduction. So next one is process of spore formation. We'll see spore formation mostly we'll find in the fungus. When a slice of a bread is kept in a moist and dark place for a few days, spores of rhizopus present in a air settle on the bread to form a fungus plants of rhizopus. So the fungus, the plants of rhizopus is nothing but the fungus. The fungus is nothing but plant of rhizopus. So when you moisten the bread and if you keep in a moistened condition, sprinkle some water and keep it. For a 2 days or a 3 days we find the growth of the fungus on itself. That is nothing but is a rhizopus. So when a slice of a bread is kept in a moist and dark place for a few days, spores of a rhizopus present in arise settle on the bread to form the new fungus plant. That is a rhizopus. So the rhizopus has a knob-like structures which are called as a sporangium, and which is involved in the reproduction called sporangia, containing spores that develop into a new rhizopus. So you can see small dots in the picture. So the blob-like structure or a knob-like structure is called as a sporangium. This sporangium holds the spores. So these spores, they used to develop into a new sporangia, new hyphae. Now you can see a stem-like structure, that is a thread-like structure, which are called as a hyphae. Bottom you can find a root-like structure that are called as a mycelium. So these all the hyphae together are called as a mycelium. So again when the spores are fell on the floor, each and every spore again grows into a hyphae, mycelium, and develops into a sporangium. In this manner they used to form the spore formation. So these are some of the asexual reproductions in the animals. Now let us see asexual reproduction in plants. Asexual reproduction is nothing but we can call it as a vegetative reproduction. What is vegetative reproduction? Generally, basing on the reproductive characters, the plant is divided into two parts, vegetative parts and the sexual part. The sexual part of the plant is a flower. and vegetative parts are stem, root and leaves. So vegetative reproduction is a process of multiplication which new plants are obtained from the parts of old plants like stem, roots and leaves without the help of any reproducing organs. Reproducing organs means that are male and female gametes. So you can see the vegetative reproduction in the leaves. You can identify the picture. It is a bryophyllum leaf. The notches of bryophyllum leaf, they started to arise the new plants. From the notches, development or outgrowth of the new plants we can find. This outgrowth of a new plants, they will attaches to the soil and they will grows into a new individual. So directly, naturally it grows. So that is a natural vegetative reproduction. So if you see the stem, some plants reproduce by means of the stem and branches. So rhizome reproduces by the vegetative reproduction. Example, banana, ginger, turmeric. So stem tubers, potato is a tuber, are found in a potato and a tuber of the potato is swollen, apical part and underground stem. The branched bears is the number of nodes or eyes. So each eye bears one or more buds and these buds plants are produced from the buds. So on the eye. So the potato crop is raised by tubers and not by the seeds. So you know that new plants grows from the buds or the eyes of the potato. The potato doesn't have any seeds. So the new plants grows from the potato. So the natural vegetative propagation can be seen in the runners. Runner is the aerial weak stem or example of lower grasses. You can see on the ground of the grass, mint and wood. So when they touches to the ground, the roots will be developed from the nodes. So when the roots are developed, each and every plant grows into an individual. Even the bulbs, you can see in onions, garlic and onions, you can see here also. They are called as a bulbs. From the bulb, we used to get a new plant. So in this manner, we can find different types of asexual reproduction. And here, so by leaves also, already we discussed bryophyllum. From the bryophyllum leaves, from the notches, even in a begonia also, from the notches of the leaves, there we can find the production of the new plants. So this is about the vegetative reproduction, natural vegetative reproduction. Coming to the artificial vegetative reproduction, you can see process of grafting. In this method, the reproduction, two plants of a closely related. We used to collect a closely related two plants. Varieties are joined together. So they live as a one plant. The portion of the plant that is grafted on the other plant is called as a scion. Very important for the examination also. What is the function of scion and what is the function of the stalk? And the plant which is grafted is performed is called as a stalk. We can make like plants, mango, apple, citrus, guava, all these plants can make as a grafting. So what is the function of scion? Scion provides the desirable fruits and the stalk provides the nutrients to the scion. So when they are both attached to the each together, see, you can find the part of a tying part. At that part, two varieties of plants, they share their both nutrients, mix the nutrients and will get the new variety of a plant. So that is called as a artificial, we can call it as a grafting. Gardeners and the horticulturists have developed these various methods of artificial vegetative propagation. Horticulturist means the person who grows the vegetable plants and the fruits and vegetables. Growing the plants of fruits and vegetables is called as horticulture. So some common methods are cutting, layering, grafting, budding, tissue culture, all this comes under. You can see here vegetative propagation of a layering. If you take a jasmine, so we collect one stem and keep it into the soil. So for after few days, The stem which kept in the soil will grows into a new plant. It gains the roots and we cut it, we can grow. You know very well about growth of the jasmine, no? You used to see your surroundings you. So that condition or that process is called as a layering. Another one is tissue culture. Tissue means a group of cells. So collection of a group of cells from the tip of the plant. It is a propagation of a new plant from isolation of plants cells or the small piece of the plant tissue in a synthetic medium of a culture solution. So artificially they will culture. So if the synthetically it is developed in artificial culture by collecting a small tissue or a group of cells, it is called as a tissue culture. Plants are grown by the medium removing tissues or separating cells from the growing tip of the plant and put in a artificial medium. So they collect it and they will keep into a artificial medium. So you can see in the picture how they will collect. So that is a part which is collected is called as a explant. So the explant is kept in the artificial nutrition medium. So the group of cells which are kept in the artificial medium that are called as callus. So this callus develops into embryoid and develops into embryo and automatically at the last it grows into a new individual. So it is also known as a micropropagation in vitro also, because it takes place outside the parent plant and in the test tube using in the artificial environment. So that's why it is called as a tissue culture. It is being used for the production of ornamental plants, orchids, dahlia. So these are some of the examples which is mostly cultured. Okay children, so up to now we discussed about some different types of the vegetative propagation, asexual reproduction, both plants and the animals. So we'll have a small activity that collect the information about the different types of grafting and list the advantages of the vegetative propagation. Okay children, so hope you understood the concept. Okay, see you soon in the next session children. Thank you.